4 games now.
Yeah.
Minnesota, Portland, San Antonio. It's 4 games, and Alex Len serving as the reserve to Domas Sabonis, and that's about the best damn 4-game stretch of a backup 5 we've had. I mean, like, Metu, to be fair, has probably had 4-game stretches where he's been adequate and looked pretty good, but rarely have, really has he stood out. Like, sometimes you'll look at it and be like, they'll have like a 10-point, 6-rebound game thrown in there, but other than that, like, nothing really stands out. But Alex Len, it just seems like he's making such an impact, and he just fits right into what they're trying to do, and it just, I mean, I said at the All-Star break, well, if they're not going to play him, you're left to wonder whether he's even playable. Like, why do they even have him? I mean, like, it seemed kind of mean at the time, but it was like, it almost seems like they're not playing him to spare him, you know, not being able to get a job or something like that, or whatever the deal is, or so it doesn't hurt his value. And then they just throw him out there like he's a secret weapon, and he's terrific. He's always been a good screen setter, and he can roll to the rim pretty well. He's big body, but the way he's playing on defense, he's not just trying to swat balls away. He's very fundamentally sound. He moves backwards. He fits within the scheme of things, and the blocks are just residual effects. They just come up with a block. He'll just go straight up on a guy. Yeah. I happen to get a hand on it because he's a 7-footer. Yeah. And I think, like, it's just perfect. The size and the shot blocking ability are added benefits, which think makes it better. Because if you just had, like, a guy that's, like, trying to go out there and swap balls, you'd have Keita, who's going to rack up 3 fouls in 5 minutes, not know what the hell he's doing. Len has just been steady and good, and finishing plays, putbacks, great rebounder. Feels so stupid if I were Mike Brown.
It's like, just why now? Like, why wasn't Alex Len playing all year? It's weird. I mean, I think he's been in the league longer than Metu, and he's older than Metu, but I feel like
he's proven he's had different roles in the league.
Yeah.
Like, this was like Metu's first time having like a consistent role.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was just, I don't know, because I remember, when did we have him the first year? 2019, 2020?
I think 2020, because didn't you get him from the Hawks?
We got him from the Hawks with...
Did he play in the bubble?
I know. Did he? I don't remember either. I don't think it was I think it was 2019.
The year before that?
Because we had him the last 2 years.
It was the year that the Kings got...
Kent Bazemore.
And also, didn't you trade for... who was the second overall pick?
Jabari Parker.
Yeah, Parker.
Yes.
I was going to say Jabari.
We got Parker and Lynn from the Hawks.
Yeah.
And I believe we traded Dwayne Dedman back to Atlanta. And that's who we picked up. Dedman. He's a Dedman. It's a Dedman to us. But yeah, so like Alex Len, I mean, for all those Kings fans that remember that second half with Alex Len was super good. We didn't pick him back up. He wasn't like super good, but he was like the enforcer. Talking about enforcers, he was blocking shots, getting in fights, standing up for his guys. And then we didn't pick him up the next year. And then I believe, then we got him 2 years ago. So this is his second season in his contract.
Yeah.
I remember Monty. I'll say Monty today. He was just like, we were hoping to bring back Alex Len, like, last season, didn't work out, so we're glad to have him back this year. And I'm like, perfect. Like, Alex Len, I was bummed that we didn't pick him up in 2020. He was super good for us in that second half. And, he just didn't, not even last year, I don't feel like he played that much.
Mm-hmm. No, not at all.
Yeah, and then this year he didn't, I mean, he doesn't play, so it's, it makes you leads you to believe that he's unplayable in the NBA. Kind of bigger, maybe can't run the floor as well. But I'm also like, this guy's, he's not that old. I don't know. He was drafted in 2014, I want to say.
Yeah, something like that.
And, I mean, he's probably 30 or something. I really don't know. I'm not trying to analyze him that hard. But it's like, he has a place in this league still. Or I thought so. But now him coming back late in the season and just playing kind of how I expected him to play if he was playing all year.
Like, better, honestly.
Yeah.
His mobility has been surprising to me. I didn't think he was that mobile.
He's playing like he did, honestly, like in that 2019 year. So I'm just like, where has this been? And like, why haven't we been able to see this all year? Like, why hasn't he been playing?
Yeah,
It's weird.
Yeah.
Considering how big the backup 5 position has been and the little to no chances he was given. We saw Holmes get tried out a couple times. We've seen Netu on and off. We even saw Keita come in. But like Len, it was just like, okay, he sucks. Like, of course you're going to assume he's just unplayable.
Yeah.
Because Frank Brown never went to him unless it was against like Jokic or something. Mm-hmm. Now he just comes in.
And I think the only reason he started that game against Denver, because Katie Christensen pointed this out, that Alex Len gets in practice, he runs with the starters. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why he started that game more than anything.
Yeah.
I think Holmes was the one that still got the majority of the minutes in that game.
Yeah.
But also Len was like coming off of not really playing all season, and I think he was coming off of an illness, so his conditioning was really weak.
I think he got in some foul trouble early too.
Yeah, something like that. But that almost, like, when you think about that, it's like, okay, he was kind of more thrown out there because of his comfort with the starters and stuff like that. That kind of underlined that point of like, ooh, like, does he have a place? What's the deal with that? It's just all worked in. But the thing that I think about, because another thing that Christensen has been saying is that, like, maybe this is Mike Brown just like working him in, because when it comes to the backup 5, and we were talking about this last week, is it going to be matchups based? Because it's like, if you start playing the Warriors, especially if like Looney's not on the floor, like if you have Draymond playing the 5, you might need to be switching 1 through 5. And you can't do that with Len. You can't really even do that. You can't do it with Sabonis. They don't do that with Sabonis.
Yeah.
But you can do that with Metu. But then it's just like, it's looking more and more and more and more, and we'll get to this in a second, like they're going to play the Warriors in the first round. There's like no separation in terms of the Clippers and the Warriors right now. They just keep staying 5 and 6.
Yeah.
It seems like nothing's moving in the standings except like 7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 8, 9 really, because the Thunder have been sitting in that 10 spot for a long time.
Yeah.
But not to get caught in the weeds there. If that is indeed the case, it is kind of weird that they're going to Lynn now and Metu's kind of collecting rust.
I mean, the Clippers, I guess you can play Len against Zubac and Plumlee.
Yeah.
So maybe you're hoping for
matchup.
that.
That's why I think the Kings would really just.
Maybe they're fine with Metu. Like he can plug in. He's had his run.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't know, Metu.
We said it last week too, where it's like, well, remember when Metu had the job taken away when he came back against that that Orlando game? It was like a couple weeks there. He was playing probably his best basketball of the season.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you take something away from him. In that same way, kind of building that urgency through heartache.
Yeah.
Maybe that kind of brings out a better thing from him. And if that is indeed the case, now you got a double barrel shotgun at the backup 5 based on the matchup. So that could prove out to be real smart. But it's like, I mean, if you're going to switch 1 through 5, you might as well just have Lyles play the 5.
Yeah, honestly, I'd rather have Lyles and like Kessler Edwards out there.
Yeah, and Edwards is versatile enough to guard basically 2 through 4. You probably don't want him guarding some of the bigger guys down low, but versatility is key, and he's versatile as hell.
Who's the 4 on the Warriors if Draymond's at the 5?
Dude,
Wiggins?
They play DiVincenzo at the 3,
so Wiggins probably.
if he comes back and is playing all right, that'll be interesting to see what happens. But the Warriors are. I want to make one last point about Len before we move on to the Warriors. The other thing we were talking about when we were thinking about are the Kings going to pursue a backup 5 is, do you want to get somebody that's just going to be like a lot of people want shot blockers, but I guess we were kind of like, well, maybe you want somebody like Plumlee because it's somebody that can plug in and be like Sabonis. Len has been doing that. Len's obviously not as good of a passer as him. He's obviously not as much of a threat, but it's like, in a lot of ways, he's kind of, able to be a good screen setter, smart enough to kind of just make the right pass. And I think another thing that's really helped is that's like 2.5 years total, stretched over 3 seasons, where he's got to play with De'Aaron Fox.
That's true.
And I think you saw it in that second Portland game. Monk hit him a couple of times. It's like, it just seems like everything just kind of fits in. I mean, he's obviously not Sabonis, but not anywhere close. But kind of
resembles him more so than Holmes or Metu.
Yeah. Holmes just makes no sense.
Holmes is just the biggest disappointment of the year.
It's just, if he was bigger, it'd be a little better. But
or he could shoot the 3. One of the two.
Even whenever he goes out in garbage time, he's putting up a 3 every time.
He needs to. That's his only. That'll be his saving grace.
That's another thing though about
he
Len.
can be stretched
Len
forward.
was shooting like 38% in Eurobasket.
Yeah.
From 3, and we were wondering like, is that going to be a difference maker when we're doing like our preseason talk? We didn't have anything to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, will Len he's going to be a stretch 5? I always wonder, is he going to take one? They had a play where they had him lined up in the corner on one thing.
Yeah, every now and then he'll take one from the corner.
And I'm like, I wonder if they'll try to unleash that a little bit more.
I mean, I think in Atlanta before he came over, he was putting up like 3 a game.
He was like, he became their starting center at one point.
Yeah.
And he was shooting like 36% from 3, which is that's crazy. That's perfect. That's exactly what you need.
His real name's Oleksii.
Yeah.
Oleksii. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You didn't know that?
Alex Len. Al Len?
Alan.
What's up, Alan?
Al. Big boy Al.
What's up, big boy Al? Len? I love Al Len, though. I'm happy that he's drafted in 2013. He's 29. That's
You gotta re-record the whole thing.
No, I'm just happy to see him succeeding now. He was putting up. Oh my! An ad popped up. No thanks. What year was this? 2019-20. He was shooting 36% from 3 on 2.6 attempts a game. So I mean that's pretty good for Alex Len, considering he's never put up 2 attempts. He's only put up in a single season more than 1 attempt 2 other times. Oh no, only 1 other time. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. He had that like year, and then he's not really ever shot the 3 ball again.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure that if the opportunity came where he'd get one, I'm sure he'd put one up, and I'm eager to see what would happen.
I mean, he's done it in the past, and when he definitely played a little more last year than this year, especially when Sabonis went down. I remember him throwing up corner ones, and he was like, "Oh my god, he made it!" He was like that wide open threat, kind of like Sabonis. Like when Sabonis is wide open, it's like he'll pull the trigger.
Hit one on Sunday.
Yeah, that's a big one too.
Yeah. Well, Alex Len is definitely a bright spot.
Yeah, big bright spot.